Well, hello there, and welcome to the channel, and indeed welcome to this absolutely glorious overcast day, which is what will be every day up until June time, when the sun will finally come out. And this is a rather special video because it is our first behind the scenes video of what jobs we have done so far in our exotic UK garden, and we'll be pointing out what jobs are soon to be done as soon as the weather gets cold. And if you are watching this video on the day of publication, then a happy new year to you all, because today is the 1st of January 2025. So without further ado, let's get on with it. There's not really much going on here in the courtyard. Anything tender's already been brought in, so we'll start off with these lovely bananas. This is the hardy or Japanese banana, musabashi. And what we've done we did have a frost. The leaves got damaged, so we took all the damaged leaves off, and what we've done, we've prepared some canes in here so that when we do get some cold weather, because let's be honest with you, it's still running at about 4 degrees at night, 6 degrees at night, so we're not getting any frost whatsoever. If I'm being honest with you, we've got a number of plants actually breaking into leaf bud already, and like I say, 1st of January, that's no good. So as and when minus temperatures do appear here on the south coast, this is all ready to put a covering over the top, the same as I've done on this Brugmansia here. Let's go and take a closer look. Now, if you've seen our earlier videos, you would have probably come across this Brugmansia. It's an absolutely stunning trumpet flowering plant, commonly known as the angel's trumpet from South America. And although it's considered not hardy, I've actually had some really good success overwintering these outside. So this year we grew this one in a pot to get the root system established, and what we've done here is we've put down a nice thick layer of a dry mulch. We're using bark chips here, and we've put a little canopy on the top to try and keep some cold off it. And if it does get very, very cold, I'll get some horticultural fleece and I'll wrap up the base, because you can see it's already trying to break into leaf here. It will renew growth from any stems that survive, and if they don't survive, you can quite often get new growth breaking out from the base, so long as the roots remain protected. And while we're talking about root protection, we've got that lovely Hibiscus Moos, which puts some protection on here too. If you've seen some of our earlier videos, you'll have seen that I've already wrapped up a lot of tree ferns already, but this one here, I really haven't done much to it yet, simply because it just hasn't been cold enough. Now, we did have a touch of frost, about 3 or 4 days where temperatures went down to about -1, -2, and generally they're going to be quite good down to about -5, so long as they've got some over canopy protection, as we've got here. Let me show you. So we've got this Sorbus Wikipedia that does, no, it's got no leaves on it now, but it still gives some protection. It's also got the protection of this fence here. And where we did get some frost, this is pretty much all the damage we have. But believe me, once this does start to experience colder temperatures, I will wrap it up, protect the crown in the top, protect the crown on the side, and keep that watered and fed. I won't go into it in too much detail, simply because I've already done a video. What I'll do is I'll put the link to the video up here, not the link, the thumbnail to the video up here. The link will be in the description. I'll go into great detail with regards to overwintering and winter maintenance on tree ferns. You need to watch it because there's loads of information in there, and if you want to go by other people's advice, you'll probably end up with a dead tree in the next few years. So avoid that, do the job properly. I do like these. This is the Tetr papyrifer, and you can see it will remain evergreen so long as temperatures don't get too cold, but if you do get some cold frosty nights, it will start to lose its leaves. As it's done on the top. Now you might say, Simon, why don't you take these ugly naked old leaves off? Well, I'll tell you why. While these are still in place, if you do get cold temperatures coming down, this slight covering of leaf will protect the crown in here and helps to preserve this for next year. But to be fair, they've always survived for our winters here, even when temperatures went down a few years back to between somewhere around -7 and -8 degrees Celsius, and they all still come back. But even so, why not? Just give it a better chance. The same as what I'm doing over here with this Monera deliciosa, which again was out here in the frost, and all these leaves are absolutely fine, simply because I've left the ones that did get damaged over the top as protection, and again it's under this tree, so it sort of holds, it's a bit of a microclimate, holds it back, but it's got a lot of protection here. Hopefully it will survive the winter if it doesn't get too cold, but we'll have to see come the spring. Actually, I do need to put a little bit of context on these tetrapanic surviving temperatures down to about -6, -7 degrees Celsius. They can survive, but we did have a lot of dieback on this particular one here. So the stem was up here, died back, but then it regrew from here. So we've still got quite a large growing specimen, and it's got a new crown up here instead. So yes, they will survive those temperatures, but they might be naked. And but it doesn't matter, because if the stem does get damaged, as it does in this case, you'll get loads of new regrowth from the roots. Look at that, loads. 1, 2, another 4 stems. And being honest with you, look, got another one just here. Look at that, that's a sorbaria, and you can see loads and loads of bud on it, and that will stay in tight bud even if you get some frost later on in it. Absolutely fine. Does come out into leaf really early, and it's a really nice plant. Oh, there you go. Aspidistra, cast iron plant. Now we kept this outside in its pot last year, it did really well, and look at that, absolutely fine. Again, it's been under those minus temperatures, but it's so well protected by the plants above it. Looks absolutely fine. This is Fuchsia Ceres Delta, which is one of my favourites of the hardy fuchsias, and usually I'd have got fed up with this by now and cut it back to just above ground level. But you know what, I want to get some height on it for next year, so I'm going to leave these long stems really until they break out in the spring, and hopefully it doesn't get too cold. We'll get leaf bud all the way up these stems, and there you go. That's one of my favourite cannas. This one is Cleopatra. I've taken out all the old stems that got hit back by the frost. This one still seems to be growing, so why not give it a chance? Let it stay there. Now you probably want to know what's going on under this canopy. Well, got our Achillea Americana. It is quite cold tolerant, and it's also tolerant of our horrible wet weather. But you know what, just to give it a bit of protection, I've put this canopy to act as a rain shadow, so it doesn't get too wet down the base of the plant, and it'll stay on there for now, and it'll come back off once the threat of late frosts have gone in the spring. That under there is one of our ginger lilies. That is a Hibiscus Moos, so I like to give that a decent protection of a dry mulch. Oh, it looks wet. That's just bark chips there. And we did have another Hibiscus, the Coccinium under here. Now we've lifted that one. It's been out here for 3 years now, but it just hasn't really done a decent job at looking ornamental. So I've lifted it, I've potted it on, and it's been hot housed in the greenhouse, and will probably stay there all next year. Oh, and can I point out, look at that. That's one of our early flowering camellias. It's already stuck out a little bud. Look at that, absolutely beautiful. And do you know what, just noticed this callistemon, this is a bottle brush. Now, again, hopefully, if it doesn't get damaged in the winter weather, that new bud will come out, and this will be where we get all the new flowering. So hopefully, all this new growth will stay. I'm surprised it's actually that far ahead at this time of year. And just as a word of warning, if, like me, you like to pop out and do a little bit of gardening work in the winter, just be very careful when you are working among the borders, which I have been today. To be very aware of your spring bulbs coming through, because we've already got the giant alliums coming. Let's take a little look. Yeah, so we've got one here, one just coming through here, and one there. And it won't be long before the borders are going to be full of these bulbs coming through. So get those jobs done that you want to do now, and just stay off the borders until the spring displays are past, or at least until you know where the bulbs are. So if you do need to go on the borders, you're not stamping on them. Flipping herd of elephants. This is one of the original plants of the garden, and there are very few of those left. We've got this, we've got the apple tree, probably about it. And it's a lovely pink one, very vigorous. So what I thought I'd do this year, rather than trying to have it grow as a misshapen lump, because I did have to cut it back, because when we first come in here it was heavily shaded by the apple tree. There's your apple tree, and it had grown over the fence and into the field, so that wasn't that good because you couldn't actually see any blooms in it. So you've got a hard cut back, as you can see there, and because it's still very vigorous, it's putting out these very long elongated branches. So I thought, do you know what, I'm going to grow this as kind of like an espalier, and grow these long stems along the fence run, and have hopefully in a few years time blooms all the way down there in spring. Really lovely. And while I'm still here, we've got the Bolivian Fuchsia Boliviana, and it's going to die back. It got hit by frost, it will have all those stems knocked back. There's very little life in these, but see that again, something else in bud. All I need to do this is to protect the roots, because these are a sub-shrub, and that means they do have characteristics of both herbaceous and typical woody stem shrubs. So to help this survive the winter, this has had another dry mulch to protect the root system, because if the root system is in good condition, I should get a load of growth coming through in the spring. Now in this sort of specimen border here, we've only done a little bit of work in here. We've still got a lot of work to do so far. I need to do something with this banana. So this is the same banana as what we saw earlier, just a much bigger specimen because it's in the ground. Like I say, known as the hardy banana, the root system will be absolutely fine. I don't need to put a mulch on that because our temperatures do not get cold enough, but I will chop all these down at some point and then put a canopy over the top. I just need to put in place these posts. Hopefully I won't stab them into some overwintering herbaceous plants like I did last year. Get these in place, chop back the stems, probably to about 5 foot tall, whoop, that will go in the bin, and then as and when the temperature drops, I'll start putting canopies on. But with it being so mild, it's still growing, so there's no point until it gets cold enough to stop it growing. That's when I'm going to cut it, canopy goes on. The last plant that I'm doing a little bit of work with overwintering is the golden lotus banana, the Musella laziocarpa, which we've got under here. I've taken all the foliage off, so it's just the stems here. So in order to protect this, it is considered hardy, or one of the hardiest. It's not quite as tough as the Japanese hardy bamboo. So what we've done is we've put in again a really nice thick layer of mulch around the base here. We've got a bit of a canopy to protect it, and really if it does get too cold, sticking this fleece on, wrapping that all around here. Oh, I forgot my Dahlia imperialis, the tree dahlias. These are also going to need a really thick mulch, and that mulch will need to come out quite a way because the root bore on this is absolutely huge. Now we've already moved around a few plants because I wasn't happy where they were, and hopefully where I've moved them to we'll get a better display. I've bought a few more bits and pieces. They've gone in the ground, and I'll be looking at trying to get a few more plants come the spring, because there's always something that you think, oh, could really do with that plant there. Anyway, that is our behind the scenes walk around of our exotic garden. Is there anything that you would like to add or mention, or some great overwintering ideas that I haven't spoken about that other people should be aware of? Then put that in the comments. We'd love to hear from you, and it gets that information out to those gardeners who also read the comments. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to click like, subscribe if you like this channel. It supports us more than you know. It's absolutely fantastic for the channel. And before I go, one last message from me for when the weather was better. See you in the next video, assuming you like this one. Right, now, just before you go, if you want to see more content, more behind the scenes stuff, and images that I've taken of some weird freaky plants over the years, then you're in luck, because we've created an Instagram page. So you can find the link in our description. You can find the link on our main page, and if I'm clever enough, I might be able to get a link somewhere up there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you want to see more YouTube stuff, then check out this video here. That's quite a good one. And if it doesn't float your boat, then another one right there. And enjoy these while I've still got the strength, imagination and aptitude to make them. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.